Hey guys, Aramis555 here, and I'm coming to you with a updated Karakuri deck profile. Sorry if the lighting's a little dark. I just don't really have the best lighting in this room. It's kind of dark in here, so this is really as good as it gets. I guess with my shadow in the way as well. Here, let's try and pull things over a bit here. There we go. That'll make it a bit better. Great video already. Anyways, hopefully you guys have been enjoying my content lately. I've been able to go to locals a lot more. Done a lot more funner videos, such as the Charles deck profile, which I'm very happy to say is a hit. I've never had a video get so many likes and so many views so quickly, so I want to thank everybody who watched that. I really appreciate the support, and I'm already just about 1,100 subscribers, and I'm about 1,051 at the moment, so very, very cool. I'm very excited to be getting more famous on here. I know like 1,000 obviously isn't famous, but you know, I've come a long way since I first started about a year ago. And yeah, I just really appreciate all your guys' support. So without further ado, I'm just going to first of all give a shout out. This is to Team United Heroes. I think that's what his channel's name is. I usually don't net deck, but I've been having a really hard time trying to figure out how I want to run this deck. And the one thing I was having a hard time with, like the monster lineup was pretty standard. But I just wasn't too sure. Now, the thing that he did that, like my spell line has been the same, it hasn't really changed, but the thing he did that really impressed me was the trap lineup, which you guys can already see I'm running Safe Zone and stuff, but I'll talk about those later. Anyways, check out his channel. He's a really good Yugi tuber. I don't know why he doesn't have more subscribers, because he actually, he's very likable. His content's very, very respectable. It has lots of good quality, and he knows his stuff. So like I said, anyways, I don't normally net deck, but I actually ended up kind of taking his build. I only changed like a card or two. I think actually maybe one card. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get to the deck profile. Once again, that's, I think, Team United Heroes. If I say it wrong, or I got a word wrong in the wrong spot, really sorry, dude. But I will have a link to it up here, so if you guys want to check that out, make sure to click the link. It won't quit the video. It'll just bring you to another one. So anyways, let's get to the deck profile. So we got 2 Genex Neutron, 3 Merchant, 3 Komachi, or as I call her, Beauty, 3 Kuick, 2 Soldier, 1 Haipa, 1 Saizan, and 1 Nishipachi. And we got 3 Cyber Dragon. I'm going to talk about this guy a bit later. 2 Effect Veiler, only 2. 2 Pot of Duality, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, and 1 Heavy Storm. That's very important. 1 Pot of Avarice, one of my favorite cards in the deck, wins games. 1 Book of Moon, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, so pretty much staple spells. Trap lineup, 3 Fiendish Chain. Oh my god, I'll talk about this shortly. 3 Safe Zone, 2 Solemn Warning, 1 Judgment, obviously, and surprisingly I'm running a Mirror Force. I'm not completely sold on this yet. I still do love Mirror Force, but it's not as good as it used to be. Luckily, my locals is getting a lot more popular with Heretics and stuff, and this card's very good against them. So I think this card's going to become a lot more used next format, and maybe possibly closer into the end of this format. It's also very good versus windups, actually, if you can get it set before they get their loop off and they try to like OTK you or swarm or whatever. So yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. It's 40 cards. Monsters, I believe, is 21. Spells is 10, and I believe traps is 9. That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, anyway, starting off with the monsters, 2 Neutron. So a lot of people I see run 3 Neutron. I love drawing this guy. He's so good to open up with. But you don't want to draw too many of them, because when you think about it, you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tuners. So, you know, these guys can search out your Ninishis anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But I just think 2 is a very good number, 3 is too many. And the nice thing about him is he actually gets around Effect Veiler, which is very, very good. 3 Merchant, I was originally running 2 and I bumped it up to 3. I just wasn't drawing them enough, and I think having these both at 3 is extremely important. This is one of the few decks in the game that can make a Naturia Beast for free, basically, because you normal summon her. If they Veiler her, you're like, whatever, that's fine. She's just going to a defense next turn when you attack her anyways. And then you normal summon this guy, you get a Search, and then you Synchro for Naturia Beast. So it ends up being a free Naturia Beast. 2 cards becomes 1. But then you guys search off him, so it balances out. Awesome thing about him as well, obviously, is he searches out any Karakuri card in the deck. I'm obviously not running any of the traps or spells. I'll talk about that afterwards. But yeah, I just think you need to run 3 of these, and Nat Beast is so good, it wins games. Next up is 3 Kuick. He's also one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's basically a Full Helm Knight / Shura, I guess you could say. It's a bigger version of Full Helm Knight. Grabs you any Karakuri in defense position from the graveyard when you destroy opponent's monster by battle. So really, really good card, and it's actually not bad. It's 1700 attack, and once again, he switches, so you don't have to worry about taking damage if something bigger gets over him. 2 Soldier. Now, a lot of people don't run this guy anymore. I think mainly just because they're like, oh, Inzectors, they're just going to pop it when you set it, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, that does sometimes happen. Sorry, I'm just readjusting here. Yes, that sometimes does sometimes happen, but it's very rare, and people usually don't expect this guy. People don't expect Battle Searchers anymore. He fills up your graveyard for Avarice, and, you can always crash him and grab yourself a Kuick and then run over the dude if they're like, 1500, 1600, even 1400, which is really, really good. You just crash and go +1. Haipa. I've seen a lot of people not running this guy. He's so good. Like, I was originally running the exact same build as Team United Heroes, or I'm sorry, whatever your name is. But I decided to take out one Soldier and run one Haipa. This is just because I love going. He doesn't focus on it as much. He likes going Beret, and I do really like Beret. But you can win games by plussing so much off of Burrito, and that really comes out of Safe Zone, obviously. Safe Zone's a very, very good card, but you equip it to a Burrito, they can't get over it. It's 2800, so he's already huge, and then every turn you're either just switching him or you're switching another Karakuri monster, and you're drawing a card, and basically that's 2 cards every turn. I've actually had 2 Burrito on the field at one point, both with Safe Zones on them, and I had a Nat Beast up so you couldn't storm me, and I was literally drawing 3 cards every turn. I almost decked out, but it was so funny. I had like the 2 Safe Zones up, 3 other back row, Nat Beast, 2 Burritos, and a Beret, and then I think I OTK'd him, but I ended up having 11 cards in my hand by the time I finally got in the push, so it was pretty funny. The nice thing about him, obviously, is most of the times if you go into your Burrito plays, you're going to be, the best thing to go into is Nishipachi, but obviously you don't always want to do that because it's nice to leave him for later if you need to get over something big. So I do like going into this guy because he attacks, he gets over all the big stuff, and then when he switches that into the battle phase, you draw a card, and you draw into a Judgment, or a Safe Zone, or a Fiendish Chain, something that's going to protect you. So he's actually really, really good, and Team Hopeless Heroes, I think, Team Hopeless, Team United Heroes, I think you guys should give him a try because I think he's really, really good. 1 Saizan and 1 Nishipachi, I'm not going to say anything about them, they're just your other tuners that you do need. He's really just for the Burrito plays and whatnot, so... 3 Cyber Dragon. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, you run this card, it's so bad. People Monster Reborn and Chimera Tech you. Nobody runs Chimera Tech in their extra deck anymore. Nobody's afraid of machines. I've been playing this deck at locals, and I've been doing extremely well with it. I really don't have any bad matchups against anything. Maybe, game 2, 3, obviously they're going to side in, Chain Disappearances for her, or even him. That kind of hurts a little bit. But in most cases, this card's so good. It gets around Zen mains, Card Trooper, which dragons like to run, and just stuff like that. And then obviously it's your level 5, so it lets you, do some very cool combos. You open up with this, and one of him, and that's a first turn Nat Beast with a Burrito and a +1. So it's really, really good, and you do open up with it very consistently. And then 2 Effect Failures. Some people are going to be like, why aren't you running 3? I don't like 3s. You guys know I usually just run 2 in every deck. I know 3's staple. You have to run it in everything, but my defense for that is I run 3 Fiendish Chain instead. And yes, this doesn't protect me, turn 1, my opponent goes off. But I open up with Effect Failure more often than not. And this is a combo deck. It's not like a lot of the decks right now that are running 3 that, 1 card gives you a +1. aka Chaos Dragons, Rabbits, and Inzectors. Obviously, you summon a Hornet or a Centipede, and you're getting a +3 that turn. You summon a Rabbit, and you're making a free XYZ, stuff like that. So you kind of need these, but I think 2's fine. And once again, this is a huge beater deck, so I'm really more worried about back rows than monster effects because I can just run everything over. So anyways, so that's 21 monsters. I love it. It's perfect. I wouldn't change anything. Some of you might be like, why no Gores? I run 5 continuous traps, and sometimes these like to stay on the field, and I've even had a few times that these like to stay on the field. So as much as I love Gores, he just really doesn't help the deck in any way. And this isn't really an offensive deck. It's more of a OTK / control deck. So Gores isn't really that necessary. 2 Duality, not 3. 3's too many. 3 MST and a Heavy Storm, you need to get rid of the back rows. It's the same thing with Inzectors. You know, you need to be able to get rid of those back rows and then go off and hope they don't have the Veilers or the Fiendish Chains. Chain actually doesn't even really hurt this deck all that much. Like, yeah, they might chain your Nat Beast and that sucks, but, you know, with the 3 MST and the Storm, obviously Skill Drain hurts you a bit too, but you just need to be able to successfully go off. You can always come back. Like, bad players are going to let you summon Ninishi and then, you know, summon one of these dudes and make a beret, and then they Veiler you. Okay, that's fine. You go, you know, we both go -1, so it ends up being even. But then I'm stuck with a free 2600 monster on the field, and have fun getting over that. So, you know, it's one of those situations where the good players are going to Veiler this guy first. But even then, once again, you're going to be attacking him next turn, and it just switches to defense position. So she's really, really big, which is awesome. Avarice is so good in this deck. You have to run it, and I'm not going to say anything about those. Those are staples. So onto the traps. So, you know, I love Fiendish Chain. I'm running 3 in my Samurai again, and I'm really, really liking it. A lot of people are kind of bashing the card right now. They're saying it's not as good as it used to be. I don't know what's changed, what decks have come out that have changed that. I guess maybe Chaos Dragons. But the fact that you can still stop attacks is really, really good. You can Fiendish Chain a Reaper, you can Fiendish Chain a Grand Mole, which hurts this deck as well. You can Fiendish Chain anything. This is just protection for Nat Beast. Like, this deck is really just like, it's Nat Beast.deck with the option, obviously, to go into the big mofos. So, you know, these are very important cards. I'm loving the Fiendish Chains. And, yeah, I really have nothing else to say about them. It's one of my favorite traps in the game right now. I'm very happy they reprinted it. And, yeah, I recommend you guys give them a try if you're not running them anymore, because I think they're still a great card and people don't expect it. And not everybody's running 3 MST, so you don't have to worry about going Fiendish Chain, they negate it or whatever. Excuse me. So 2 Safe Zone, I'm loving this card in here. The reason being is I didn't really have any protection before for Torrential, so Torrential also really hurt this deck, but now if you go Ninishi Kuick and they Torrential, you can just, like, Safe Zone the Kuick or something, and you're like, that's cool. I'm going to just start running over all your stuff, or I'm just going to summon another one next turn or whatever. But the best thing about it is they usually want you to go into your Synchro first to, like, waste them or whatever. So you go into your Burrito or your Bure, and they Torrential or they Bottomless, or they try to book you, or, you know, whatever. You go Safe Zone. Well, obviously they book, you're hooped, but Safe Zone, and you're protected. It's a really, really good card. Compulsory does hurt this deck a little bit, but at the same time, you pretty much just, like, go 1 for 1, you get a guy back, so it's fine. So yeah, try this card out. I don't think it's as broken as everyone says, but I think it works really well in the deck, and I completely see why Team United Heroes ran it, because it's very, very good. 2 Solemn Judgment, or Solemn Warning, 1 Judgment. Gotta run them staple. And the 1 Mirror Force. Once again, like I said before, it's really for heretics. So that's the deck profile, guys. Sorry if I've been talking too much. I just really want to talk about Karakuris, because I'm enjoying this deck more than I thought. It's been doing really well at locals. In the tournaments, I think I'm 5-2 right now, which isn't, like, amazing, but it's really good. 1 loss was to Dragoonides. He drew Heavy Storm. I was beating him, and he, like, top decks Heavy Storm, and I had, like, a Fiendish Chain, Safe Zone on something and something else, and he top deck Storm, so that kind of sucked. I should have beat him, but whatever. And Hieratics, I got 2-0'd. Luckily, I got revenge against him and 2-0'd him back. Safe Zone plus Nat Beast kind of wrecks that deck, so... But yeah, you know, it's a really good deck. I think it's still very compatible in this format, in this meta right now, and I think everyone should give it a try if you want a very budget, cheap deck to build. These have gone down a lot in price. They're only about $7 to $8 now. Obviously, you know, Safe Zone's a little expensive, but you don't have to run that. There is alternatives. And, you know, obviously the Synchros are even pretty cheap too, which I'll get to right now because I know you guys want to see the extra deck. So even though I love having everything in order, I'm just going to mess it all up. Oh no. Okay, let's get to it. So 1, 2 Burrito. This is just because there is a combo where you can get 2 Burritos out and then summon a Haipa, and then you attack, and then he switches and you draw 2. So many pluses. I know Team United Heroes Bill only ran 1 Burrito. I think you gotta run 2. I don't think you need, like, I know I see some people run 3 Bure. I don't think you need 3 Bure. Like, when you think about it, you have the Avarice to put them back. People might compulse you and put them back. I just think 3 is just taking up too much room, and I really think you do need 2 and 2 of each of these guys is the perfect number. There's nothing more than that. Now, once again, it's a very cheap deck to build. These now are golds. You can get them for about $1 if you want the golds. The altis are about $3. And Bure is still going for about $10 to $12. Depends on if you get first edition or ultra or alti or whatever. But so it's very, very affordable. Other 8s, we got Scrap Dragon. This deck does make 8s fairly easy. Scrap's staple. Stardust Dragon is staple. I was originally running Starlight Road in here, but I just found the biggest problem with it was, like, I ran it for protection for Torrential. I was running it over the Mirror Force, I think. No, it was over the Haipa. I was originally running 20, but I decided that the problem with Starlight Road is obviously you draw it after they've stormed you or Darkhold you, or you draw it, you know, after or before, and then they don't even have those cards, and it just ends up being dead. So, once again, you can make Stardust so easy with this deck, and then you have Nat Beast for protection. That Dark Hole and Heavy really don't scare you all that much. So, plus you got Safe Zone if they Dark Hole. So, yeah, it's not really a big deal. Landois, so good, MVP of the deck. All you gotta do is a Ninishi and any of the Karakuri level 4s and you make this guy, and then you're pitching your dead MSTs and stuff out of your hand. He's really good versus Zectors, he's really good versus Chaos Dragons as well. This guy wrecks Chaos Dragons, so of course if you have the protection, you do need the protection for him, but very, very good. Black Rose Dragon, I was gonna take this out, but then I realized how good this card is. You get some mad nukes off sometimes and people don't expect it. They just don't ever expect you to make Black Rose anymore. Like, I was playing my friend Norm. He's going to watch this, but he had, like, I think it was 3 back row, and then he had 2 Seratos on the field. I was playing his Evils, and I, like, make a Black Rose. I think he was expecting to make a Beret, and he had, like, nothing to stop it. I thought he had Fiendish Chain or a Warning down, and he didn't have it, and I ended up getting, like, a +3 off of it, I guess, so that was pretty funny. Let's just say he didn't win that one, but yeah, it was pretty funny. So, one Bronic. I don't run Barkion, I just run Bronic as my 1/6. Barkion, you really don't need it. You know, traps obviously hurt, but you have all the MSTs and the Storm, so it's really not that important. And Bronic's just so clutch. I think he's a staple. It was really either Bronic or him, and I decided for Bronic. Nat Beast, nothing to say. MVP of the deck. Catastrophe you gotta run. You can actually make him very easily. So, on to the XYZs. I'm going to talk about these a bit. I was originally running Leviathan Dragon over Golem, but I decided Leviathan wasn't big enough. And, you know, usually you can just leave this guy on the field as a wall. And, you know, he just sits there. And they're going to try and get over him. When they do get over him, you already built up so much hand advantage that you can just go off with, like, an OTK or something. So I think he's a better choice than Leviathan. Leviathan's a good card, but it's not really necessary. Roach, I opted for Roach over Barkion. I think Team United Heroes build was running Barkion, but you never bring it out. And Roach is just so good versus Heretics, Chaos Dragons, other Synchro decks. Like, we do have the one Dragoonity guy there, so it's really, really good against that. Love Roach, one of my favorite XYZs. And I was originally running Utopia, but I just found in testing that this deck doesn't need the attack protection. Utopia really doesn't do a whole lot for the deck. And Maestro's just good because he gets over Catastor, which is one of the cards that the deck has a hard time with, because when you think about it, I'm running all Earths. So this gives me an out to Catastor, and obviously it's just good. It, like, books stuff that's too big for me to get over, or get my Berets over, or sorry, Berets or Beretos over, I should say. I know Beret can switch the position, but it's just, yeah, it's a very, very good card. And then last but not least, Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. So good, and, you know, obviously contact fusion with those card troopers and Zen mains or whatever his name is all day long. So anyways, guys, that's the deck profile. Sorry it was so long. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Once again, make sure to check out Team United Heroes. Very, very good Yugi tuber. And other than that, you guys have a good day. Peace.